For today's morning meditation, I'd like to elaborate on the passage of scripture from the 11th chapter of the book of Hebrews, Hebrews 24 through 27. It reads as follows: By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures of Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. And for today's morning meditation, if I were to just interject a thought, it was faith to make the tough decision. In life, many times you're going to be pressed to make a decision. What separates those who make it in life and those who don't make it quite as successfully is the power to make eminent and important decisions, making decisions in a timely manner. Many times in your life, indecision is also a decision. It's a decision to not do anything about your situation. If you want your situation to improve, if you want your life to move into another direction, you have to have the faith to make the big decision. What's so scary about making big decisions in your life is that there's a fear of loss. Many times, most of us have a fear of loss, even though where we are right now, we're not satisfied with. Isn't it amazing that even though you're living a life of complacency, a life of mediocrity, that you fear of losing that status? The status quo should not be our goal. Should be a starting point from which we want to launch into the life that we really seek to live. Yeah, that's what this is about. Faith to make the big decision. Moses, when he came of age, when he came to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Even though it was so much easier to enjoy the pleasures of sin, Moses knew that they would only be for a season. And to make the choice to suffer affliction, to make the choice to go through, to make the choice to be reviled and persecuted is one of the big decisions that you, if you're a believer, have to make in this life. Moses had the faith to make a big decision. Child of God, God has already told you something. God has already given you something to do. But you're letting fear, you're letting your own insecurities keep you away from making that big decision. Moses' name is in the Hall of Faith because he had the faith to make the big decision. Hebrews 11:6, but without faith it is impossible to please God. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. Are you trusting God? Are you moving on what God says? God has already given you the project. He's given you the innovation. He's given you the witty invention. He's given you a breakthrough idea. But do you have the faith to make the big decision? Maybe that's why we tinker and linger on the edges of mediocrity so long, because we're back and forth, scared to make the launch into the deep, scared to step out on what God has said. We're scared to walk by faith and not by sight. Many times that's what limits us, because we don't have the faith to make the big decision. We try to keep our security, and security is keeping the status quo, keeping the norm, maintaining the same, and not leaving your mark on this earth. God is calling you into something new, something fresh, something on a whole new level. But you have to develop the ability to make the big decision. Do you really trust God? So many of us say that we trust God by our mouths, but are we trusting God with our actions? Are we trusting God with our decision? Are we trusting God in moving what he says? My prayer is that you would develop the faith to make the big decision. My morning meditation. God bless you.